Welcome back. All right, so this is not going to be overly cohesive. None of these things really have anything to do with each other, but there are some items I wanted to discuss today on this channel. It's been kind of busy on the hockey side the last couple of days, thus the reason I haven't been making videos here. But let's go ahead and start with the sports stuff because I get the feeling that that's probably what people are going to come here to listen to first. So the Detroit Lions win their 11th straight. That's a record for the franchise. They clinch a playoff spot. They're 12-1. The Lions a bit of a wagon, and it's about time. The Detroit Lions. It's been a long, dark history for them overall over the last 30 years. It feels like it's been a long time since Detroit was a pretty darn good team or a contender. I think you have to look back to the Barry Sanders era for when they were really truly deemed to be a contender that might be able to do something, with that whole Super Bowl idea. So it's been a while. I would love to see the Lions win one. We'll see whether or not that takes place. Major League Baseball news. The A's getting it done. They've cleared their last major hurdle to building that stadium in Las Vegas because there have been at points in time discussions of whether or not it might go through, might not. The city of Las Vegas really wants to be a hub for sports, so it makes total sense that they would approve this. $1.75 billion. It's a lot of money, but it is the city of Las Vegas. The strip generates a ton of money, and this is just going to help. And just think what it's going to do for the traffic. I'm kidding. Traffic on the strip is just, if you go to Las Vegas, the advice I would give is if you're going to stay on the strip, and if you're not planning on going anywhere that far away, you don't really need to rent a car. I'll just throw that out there. We've never rented a car when we've gone there. We've debated about it at times as to whether or not we wanted to go out in the desert, if we might want to rent a car so we could go out in the desert for the day, and that would be during a winter trip. But we haven't taken a winter trip in so long. We haven't been to Vegas now in, I think it's almost 2 years. So at any rate, it's going to look completely different the next time we go there, as the baseball stadium is going to be the newest centerpiece for their attempts to become a hub for sports, and it's working out pretty well. The Golden Knights have been a success. The Raiders may not be a huge success on the field, but I mean they're going to generate money, and the NFL's kind of almost a guaranteed money generator, and now Major League Baseball coming in, the A's getting a home where they might be one of the big spenders in baseball once the A's are in their new home. So we'll see how that all turns out for them. I just wanted to touch on Traitors Canada as well. This is where the audience retention drops. But yeah, the Traitors Canada winner, and I waited a few days before doing this, obviously, so I'm thinking anybody who wants to know the winner has already seen it. But Neto winning is kind of the least surprising result here. I really thought when they got Michael John and then they got Kira, I thought, okay, Neta's clearly the next one. And for whatever reason, they just didn't go that way. And I honestly can't think of a group of faithfuls who've played the game worse. When a traitor wins, it's one thing, but this was an awful game played by the faithfuls. I'm surprised it wasn't multiple traitors standing there by themselves at the end, and that they didn't both vote to steal, and that way nobody wins anything. I was kind of expecting that with Canada. That has happened in one of the seasons of Traitors that I've watched. So I'm looking forward to the US and UK versions of the Traitors, which get started next month, and see how those are going to turn out, and if the Traitors are as strong. I think Neta might be the best traitor I've watched. I think the only misstep she made is when she targeted Kira. I thought that left an opening where people would point the finger at her. But in the end, they just didn't. They didn't have enough numbers to go after her. And the one I might have felt worse for was probably Kevin, because it felt like Kevin figured it out, but he figured it out too late. You got to figure this out earlier. And I think the biggest mistake they made in this season of the Traitors was not going after Michael John earlier when they knew he was a traitor, and deciding, well, we want to go for the head of the snake. No, go for a traitor, and as soon as you get a traitor out, they'll start scrambling, and other traitors will out themselves. You'll be able to tell by their behavior. So anyways, it was a successful season, I think. And in the end, the winner is Neta because, again, I don't know that you can argue that this wasn't the worst group of faithfuls in any Traitors season. I really thought that seasons 1 and 2 of the Australian Traitors would be the tops in that category forever, but nope. Season 2 from Canada, I think beat it. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So last night I had an idea. I was like, all right, why don't we watch a Christmas movie? So I started with Netflix. I started with Meet Me Next Christmas, which they're pushing, and I mean it's got Christina Milian in it. I'm like, well, I like Christina Milian. I remember her she had a hit song like 20 some years ago, which is again that's Christmas movies. You get that one recognizable person, right? So where I realized we were in trouble was when the word pentatonics had been mentioned about 6 times in the first 2 minutes, and then the movie just kind of speed rolls through past plot because who needs a plot, and then it just lost me. It just the writing was so horrendous, and it was pretty obvious this was just a pentatonics movie. This was just as real as a movie as the old Star Wars Christmas special. Yeah, that's how it was. Without the entertainment value, I was horrified with how awful, and it wasn't entertaining awful. We watched Hot Frosty. That was entertaining awful. I cannot recommend that enough. That was hilarious. I laughed most of the way through it, although it's disturbing that the snowman is essentially like the brain of a toddler, and then he's with a woman in her 40s. So which Pitch Meeting got that right. Pitch Meeting absolutely got that right. And then we watched The Merry Gentleman as well, not that long ago, and that one's funny too, and that one's watchable. Like, is it a bad movie? Yeah, it is. Chad Michael Murray still rocking the same hairstyle he did 20 years ago. It I don't he might want to change it, but anyways. So I did not finish Meet Me Next Christmas. About half an hour in, I was like, okay, this is enough pentatonics. I can't do this. When they got to the point where they were like, I offered somebody $4,000 for tickets to the Pentatonics concert, and this woman told me to go myself, and I'm like, no, no, Pentatonics concert. Nah, the tickets aren't going to be $4,000. Nah, I know they're a popular band, but no. So, and then, she goes to a concierge, and the first thing the concierge says is, well, I'll go look on Live Nation. Look, if I'm paying somebody prime money to get me tickets to an event that's sold out, I think I'm already going to have checked Live Nation. I'm already going to have checked Ticketmaster. I'll already have gone on SeatGeek. What more have you got for me there, concierge boy? So, yeah, I turned that one off. I was like, okay, I got to make up for it. So I go over to Disney Plus and I load up Nutcrackers. Why? Because it's been marketed as a Christmas movie, and marketed is the key. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's marketed as a Christmas movie, and it stars Ben Stiller. And I'm like, okay, with Ben Stiller, you get two different characters. You either get White Goodman or Greg Fokker. There are two different characters that Ben Stiller can play. The nerdy kind of doesn't fit in type, or the overbearing jerk. And in this movie, he's neither. He's it's not a it's he nobody's likable in this movie. We got a half an hour in. It is about these children who both of their parents have died. Now, Christmas movies, there's always someone dead. Always. Every single, it's a parent usually. It's a Disney movie trope too, that there's always somebody who's lost a parent. And so I get about a half an hour into this. Nobody's likable. Ben Stiller's character is very unlikable. There's a scene where he's talking to this woman who's, I guess, a caretaker for the kids, but nobody seems to be living with the kids, and Child Protective Services hasn't stepped in because I have no idea. I guess it's too remote for them. I have no idea. But at one point, these kids are horrible because it's like Overboard with Goldie Hawn. Remember how cute that movie is? Just think of it without any redeeming characters at all. So the bratty kids have bratty parents and bratty everybody. Everybody is just a jerk. At one point, where Ben Stiller's in an office talking to this lady who I guess is taking care of the kids, and this woman says, "Well, these kids have lost their parents, plural, both parents." And his response is, "Yeah, well, I lost a sister." It's been established he has no relationship with his sister at all at the time she passed. It was the most callous, awful line I think I've ever heard in a movie. from a protagonist. This is the guy you're supposed to be rooting for, and you can't. And you can't root for the kids. I don't even know who this movie's made for, because they have some very frank sex ed discussions, so you can't watch this movie with little kids. There's too much juvenile fart humor for it to really be for adults. And I don't understand. He's a business guy, I guess, and he's stupid at the same time. Where they're like, "Oh, if you want reception, you have to go in the middle of this pond here." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he goes out on like a paddleboard in the middle of the pond, and then of course he predictably falls in with phone in hand. Like, are you really that dumb that the kids are like, "Oh yeah, you get really good cell reception in that dirty pond over there." Oh, okay, I'll get. So I turned that off. Half an hour in, I was like, we're done. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go over to my cable service where they have this list of movies. And so Cloudy with a Chance of Christmas. I'm like, okay, I went through the storyline. I'm like, okay, this is your normal everyday Christmas movie. It's not. It's an advertisement. The movie's an advertisement. And Yvonne picked it up right away. And then as the movie's going along, it became more and more obvious. It's an advertisement for Leavenworth, Washington, a town, small town, because all they do is talk about how beautiful the town is. They talk about the businesses in the town and show the signs for those businesses. And it was when the one character's like, "Oh yeah, my mom works there, and they have great. Oh, their stuff is great. You should try their stuff's fantastic." And they pan the camera around, and there's the sign, and I'm like, I can't. So I gave up. I don't even remember what we ended up watching last night. We didn't end up watching a Christmas, but I gave up. I'm like, I'm done. So Meet Me Next Christmas is an ad for Pentatonics. Nutcrackers is an ad for people who need mental health. And Cloudy with a Chance of Christmas was an ad for Leavenworth, Washington. It was the most depressing night of watching Christmas movies I've ever had. And certainly when you're watching Christmas movies, you want it to be an upsetting and depressing experience. And I kept telling Yvonne, I kept saying, I cannot be trusted with the remote. Please make a decision, because I'm making terrible ones tonight. But I will try to find a Christmas movie we can watch together. It's interesting, too, because I got up this morning. I had no idea that all the Jacob Trouba stuff was going on, because from when hockey's done and I do the review at night, I try to avoid all the hockey media stuff for the most part until I'm ready to go in the morning. I find that little mental reset overnight helps. For a while there, when the channel started out, it would just be 24/7, and I'd have my phone getting notifications with anything that anybody in certain hockey press people would say. I'd right away, oh, I have to go do video right now because of this. And I found it to be just mentally, it just didn't work. So I need that mental reset. And that's part of the reason this channel exists. And that's why I was looking for something Christmas related. So I did this because I just want to warn people, if you're a huge fan, and I like Pentatonics. I do. But who's refusing $4,000 for Pentatonics ticket? And like, I'm getting upset all over again. It's one of those things where I was like, this storyline doesn't make any sense. I do wonder how many of these movies are written by people that, and one theory I have, the Nutcrackers movie, I have a theory, because we were over halfway in, or over half an hour in, no mention of Christmas anywhere. Christmas is not mentioned in the first half hour. There's Christmas music that plays during starts of scenes and here and there. I get the feeling Nutcrackers might have been written by somebody who went, well, this movie doesn't sound very good. Why don't we make it a Christmas movie? And I'm wondering how often that happens. That a movie that is written, there's a script there, and they're like, this is kind of bland. We could just make this a Christmas movie. And you slap in some Christmas trees, you slap in the movie stuff, and there you go. I want to say, too, I did get a kick out of, which one was it? Was it Meet Me Next Christmas? Where they had so much... No, it's a Cloudy with a Chance of Christmas. So much Christmas everywhere. Just the amount of decorations you see in Christmas movies is insane. And they decorate absolutely everything. Oh, what was that one? There was definitely a Christmas movie we watched the other night that we did actually enjoy. So at some point maybe I'll do a video on, some of the good Christmas movies. I'm trying to think of which one that was, because everything was decorated all the time. Oh, it stars Amy Garcia. Amy Garcia was in Lucifer, and it was a really good movie. You know what? I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, it's called Christmas with You. It stars Freddie Prinze Jr. as well. And honestly, I really enjoyed that one. So I'm not just, being grumpy here. Christmas with You was absolutely fantastic. Um, and it has nothing to do with me, crushing on Amy Garcia for ages or anything. It was really well done. And I thought the one thing that I thought was funny with it too was that they do their best to make Freddie Prinze Jr. look very kind of bland and very everyday, like just a normal everyday dad. And I'm like, Freddie Prinze Jr. is a hell of a lot more handsome than 99% of dads out there, myself included. And so at the end, when he puts on a suit and he's got his hair done, I'm like, yeah, that's Freddie Prinze Jr. He's a good looking dude. They did their best to dress him down, but when he's all dolled up, him and Amy Garcia honestly look pretty good together at the end. But yeah, that was a good Christmas movie. So Christmas with You, I'll recommend that one. So there you go. I enjoyed that one a ton. Yvonne enjoyed that one too. There's some silly stuff in it. There are some very predictable points, but that's the thing. A good Christmas movie, if you've watched enough of them, you should be able to tell where it's going and what's going to happen and still enjoy it, rather than what? Oh my God, did they just say that? That's really unpleasant. And whatever. Here's our town. Check our town out. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you want to watch a movie where they switch from talking about butchering chickens to sex ed, Nutcrackers is your movie right there. That's it's. Oh, all right. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. This might be the most random video I've done on this channel, maybe ever. I'm quite proud of it. This is the kind of stuff that I did on the hockey channel at the very beginning. The difference is I'm not sitting on a couch. I am standing here in front of my lovely Christmas tree. You know what? I'll give you guys a bit of a bonus. I haven't done this on the hockey channel, but there's the Christmas tree, and there's little hockey jerseys and whatnot on it. My wife set that up last night. Put all the ornaments on there as well. So there you go. But let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. You just bring that back in. It just doesn't look great halfway on the video and half not. But yeah, if you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do. And thank you guys so much for helping this channel past 30,000 subscribers. That is a milestone. And with each 1,000 subscribers, it does give me more reason to make videos on this channel when I have the time. And it does mean it gets more recommended. The algorithm picks it up, and then the channel starts to really grow on its own, which is something I experienced with the hockey channel. And I remember it was about 30,000 where it started to really grow, and all of a sudden it was being recommended. So fingers crossed that's going to happen for this channel as well. And when it does, I'm willing to talk about whatever people want to hear about. So there you go. Thanks for all your support. I'll talk to you guys soon enough. Oh, and of course, these are our cats. So if anybody didn't see, that's the cats. All right. I'll talk to you guys again soon.